In this video, we're going to fine-tune Qwen 2 VL using Swift. If you guys don't remember, Qwen 2 VL is a new visual language model that is making headlines. Now, I've made a video about it before. It's essentially a visual language model that can outperform GPT-4, Claude 3.5 Sonnet, and other best models in various different categories. Now, I've made a video about this before, so I'm not going to go into details. By the way, I make similar videos like these on LLMs, machine learning, and other data science tools, so please feel free to subscribe. Now, let's talk about why we typically fine-tune a visual language model like this, or any LLM for that instance. You typically fine-tune a language model or visual language model in this use case to adapt it to your own domain. Now, typically, this was trained with various documents, various generic images to perform in generic tasks. But what if you have your own documents, your own language documents that you want to adapt it to get a better output? Because if you would use this with a current model, you could get really good results or good results. But to get really good results, you have to get your own data set and fine tune it. And in this video, I'm going to make that happen or show you guys how to do it. So how should you fine tune? What are the different ways to fine tune? So for this type of model like Qwen 2 VL, there are 4 main types of fine tuning: image OCR fine tuning, image description fine tuning, image grounding fine tuning, and video fine tuning. Now, although I will not cover every single way of fine tuning the model, I want to show you guys how to fine tune with image OCR and image description fine tuning in very simple steps. So let's get on with it. So over here, I have a Colab notebook and I've connected to an A100 GPU instance. So first thing that we're going to do is we are going to install our packages. So to do that, we're going to clone into Swift, and then we're going to install transformers, the latest transformers, using Git as well. And that is because we want to get the latest supported Qwen 2 VL libraries ready for our use case. So let's install that. Now, while this is installing, I just want to quickly talk about Swift. Now, Swift is a fine-tuning package that allows you to fine-tune and make inferences with various models. And I'm actually quite new to this myself. I'm not sure what other features that Swift has, but it seems like it's actually a very specialized package for or built for visual language models. They also support VLLMs and have various guides on deploying it and other stuff like that. So I'm pretty sure people who watch my videos will probably enjoy this documentation way more than me. But nevertheless, they have all the guides on how to do inferencing and fine-tuning. So let's get back to our training. So once this is installed, we have cloned the Swift, we have installed the transform package and the Qwen VL utils. We still have to install the Swift over here. And to do that, we have to go into the Swift directory. So Swift is cloned into our local content over here. We're going to cd into that. We're in that directory. And now we're going to install our packages. Now over here, we're expected to get an error code. So as expected, it's telling us to restart our sessions. So we can restart it. Now, because it's giving us some errors over here, and that's because of some incompatibilities, it's actually a really good idea to rerun this pip install. So again, we have been thrown out from the cd or to the content directory over here. We're gonna go into it again and then install the LLM packages. And now we've installed everything we need for fine-tuning. So this fine-tuning will be broken down into 2 main sections. We have the image OCR fine-tuning, as I mentioned, and image description fine-tuning. Now, image OCR fine-tuning, the main idea of this is that we're going to use a data set that has image and OCR extracts, and you use it to train the model. I can go in depth a little bit more on how the data set looks like very soon. So first thing that we will do is we are going to define the size factor and then max pixels. I understand if this seems quite new to you guys, it's also quite new for me too, but this is a really quick way to train a Qwen 2 VL with a command line prompt, which is amazing. And then after you've defined that, we are going to write Swift caller package, and we have to write something called SFT, which is the class or the script or shell script that you use to train the model. And after that, things will get a bit more familiar. You pass in the model that you want. Over here, we have the model type Qwen 2 VL 7 billion. We will pass in the model path or ID. This is the Hugging Face path. And then you can write SFTP LoRa, and then we're going to pass in the dataset. And we're going to go to the dataset very soon. So over here, you can define how many data points that you want in your fine-tuned dataset. Over here, I've defined 2000 to make this tutorial quick. Now, before we start running this, all we have to do is we have to write command to get it started. Now, in the meantime, it's going to keep on training our model. And you're probably wondering, what about the different hyperparameters that you can use to tune your model? And that's a really good question. So remember when I said it uses SFT shell script, and this is the Swift command? And apparently it uses this specific class. And I found this in GitHub where the script uses, or the Swift uses this script to train the Qwen2 VL. And over here, you can actually define the various parameters listed over here. Now in the Colab notebook, which I'm going to share with you guys, I've linked the GitHub page where you have different parameters they can use to tune your model. So the dataset, as I was saying, looks like this. So you have an image with different mathematical symbols, and it uses the model to extract the various mathematical formulas and format it in LaTeX. Now, when you're passing in the dataset to the model that you're training, you would typically pass in a JSON lines over here, and then you pass in how many data points you want to use from your data to fine-tune your model. But in the meantime, we're going to wait and train the model. And as we can see from here, we are seeing the different training logs from loss, accuracy, and it seems to be quite accurate even with the very small amount of data set that I actually gave it to train it with or fine-tune it with, and took around 13 minutes, 15 minutes, give or take, to train or fine-tune 2000 samples. Now, if you're wondering, where is the model that I just fine-tuned? Well, you will find it conveniently in the Swift directory. That's because we already went inside of the Swift, or we CD'd into the Swift directory, and you should be able to find it over here with different checkpoints. By the way, I just want to quickly mention that in the description, there is a link for AI consulting. This is a one-on-one meeting with me where you get book a call discussing your personal projects, or if you're a company trying to build a proof of concept, you can just grab a time over here and we can talk about it. I can help with ideation and planning, feasibility assessment, and at the end of the call, we can get a report detailing the different steps you could potentially take to improve or make your system. So please feel free to check it out. Now, how do we actually use Qwen2 VL to fine-tune an image description fine-tuning? So finding the description from an image. You do it very, very similarly. You have to pass in another command, or you would copy the entire command that I showed previously, but then you just change the dataset. So instead of local OCR print, we're going to use Coco and Mini, and then you pass in 2000. Now this will be dependent on how big your dataset is, and then you run it. Now, of course, the previous fine-tuning is currently in the works. I can't really run this right now, but I want to quickly show you guys what other ways or how you can fine-tune in other ways. So we talked about video fine-tuning, and here is the code on how you can video fine-tune. Again, if you go through the documentation, you will find more and more insightful things about various fine-tuning methods and even deployment methods as well. And here's the image grounding. Now, to be honest, I don't think I'm doing justice to how interesting this package is. That's because I'm quite new to this package myself. So please feel free to go through the packages and see if you can find some other interesting things. And let me know if you do. Alright guys, that is a quick video on how to fine-tune Qwen2 VL with your dataset. I hope you found this video insightful. If you guys did, please feel free to subscribe. I make similar videos like these. Alright guys, I hope to see you in my next video. Have a nice day.